Hello and welcome back. This is Poo Poo Nope. Same guy, same place. And we have today an indie game dev again, is Matej Jan. How are you doing, Matej?
Hey, very good. How are you?
I'm good. Or should I call you Jan?
Matej is fine.
Matej,
Or
Matej.
some people also call me Retro.
Retro. Okay,
Yeah,
Retro.
that was my when I was writing for a magazine. Like I was
Right.
game reviewer, so that was my pen name. So that's how
Nice.
many people that don't know how to pronounce Matej just call me Retro, or Matej is fine.
All right, cool. So just a little bit of an icebreaker.
Yeah.
So you're the developer of Pixel Art Academy, by the way. So let me just put it out there. But just a little bit of an icebreaker. Top 5 games of all time, or what games have you been playing recently? You can either answer both or just one.
Well, definitely, I can tell you the recent one I was playing was one night when I came home. I don't know if we were drinking or something like that because I don't remember that night very well. But I was playing Kingdom, which is one of the games I
Right.
wrote about on my Retronator magazine blog. It's like a gloriously beautiful pixel art game. I've played Kingdom. Top games, definitely one of them would be Daggerfall. The Sims, I used to be the head reviewer
Oh.
for the Sims series. The second one, I had a whole stack of games. Likewise, SimCity, I love those games. Yeah, Daggerfall and the Elder Scrolls series. I'm super excited about the Final Fantasy VII coming back out. It's probably going to be,
Nice.
if they put out a bundle with Final Fantasy and PlayStation 4, that's when I'm going to buy a
Did you get
PlayStation 4.
did you get FF10 on Steam?
No, actually, 7 was the only one I played because 7 and
Ah.
8 were the only ones that were out for PCs. And I come from
Right,
Europe, and especially from where I'm from, it's just mostly just PC gaming. And
Yeah.
consoles have become popular only lately.
You should definitely try out Final Fantasy X.
Wait, is 10 the one? Oh, wait, this is also the one. 10 just got or is it
Released
going
on-
to be released on PC,
Just-
right?
Yeah, it just got released a couple of days
Dude,
ago.
I listened to the soundtrack of Final Fantasy X and 10 to X2 so often. And, I love all their soundtracks. I love the piano versions of their soundtracks anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I recently went to a Final Fantasy orchestra concert. Yeah, the
Oh,
Final Fantasy X soundtrack made some of us cry.
Oh, I can trust that one. Perfect. Yeah, yeah.
So tell us a bit about yourself. Are you doing this full time? What are you doing?
So yeah, I'm this is my place at Stanford University. By my place, I mean graduate student housing apartment. So right now, I am a master student in the education program here at Stanford. But I used to be, so I'm 31, 32 years old, soon to be. And I used to be a computer science guy before in Europe, and then I came to the US. And now I'm studying education because the game that I'm developing is a game for learning how to draw. So I used to make video games, I studied computer science, I made video games on my own all my life. And so now that I'm trying to make a video game for learning something, I said, okay, I know how to make them. I taught myself how to draw, so I've been drawing on the side. But I wanted to get the foundation of, just the educational component. I wanted it to be really solid. So,
right.
yeah.
That's the reason why I wanted to talk to you, because I found your game very interesting. Tell us a bit how Pixel Art Academy is gonna teach somebody to draw. What is it about?
Yeah, so Pixel Art Academy is first and foremost is a point-and-click adventure game. So think Monkey Island, all of those kind of things where you lead a character around exploring. And so in Pixel Art Academy, you become an art student going into this sci-fi city of Retropolis to study at the Retropolis Academy of Art. So the difference between other video games is that, role-playing games is that in this game, whatever your character learns in Pixel Art Academy, you actually get to learn that skill for yourself. So it's not like, oh, I'm pretending I'm an artist, or, I'm pretending I can, use magic and fight with swords. No, you actually learn that. Because the way you learn, the way you complete quests, they're actually asking you, hey, would you draw this for me? So, for example, working on the game development storyline, so on campus you'll meet different characters. There will be different storylines. One of them is going to be in the game development studio. There's going to be like a game development club on campus, and so you join their club, and they ask you, hey, would you draw me a game character? Like, we're trying to do you know the Pico 8 console by Lexaloffle?
Heard about it. I don't really know about it though.
Yeah, so Pico 8, so it's just this kind of old school console that we're probably going to integrate into the game. We're talking to the developers about it, and so they're making a video game. You remember on the old phones you would have that snake game where so for example, in that storyline there's a developer that's making a snake game like that, and it's just a green square running around and eating red squares. And so then you come in and they say, oh, hey, we're making this game, would you make artwork for it? And so in game you then go into your drawing app, and instead of a square you make, I don't know, an apple, and then you go back into the game, like back into the game in the game, like the snake game, and then whatever you drew, it's there. So
Nice.
so that's how and the game will give you a lot of these kind of scenarios. So this is how you start out, but then on the next project, maybe you will work with an art director and they will tell you, oh, you need to use this kind of art style. And by the way, here's also some resources. Like some people on the internet wrote how to make, I don't know, grass tiles. So graphics for role-playing games for the, a grass tile that gets placed all around. So stuff like that.
I wanted to ask actually, like, was it gonna have like a in-game drawing app? Basically?
Yeah, we just developed that a couple of weekends ago, or maybe it's a month ago now. So it's not going to be necessary to use it, because you can just use whatever, and that's how we've been doing it with current students, is you can just use whatever you're used to. But it's definitely valuable to have something in-game, so that if you want to really quickly do something, you can. And these days it's a lot, especially as I grow older, my time is more scarce, or at least I have to balance between a lot of things. So if you have a chance to just get something done and not, oh no, I have to open up Photoshop and wait and import those files and then export and then upload to the game, right? If it's just there, you gotta make everything be available as soon as possible. Like, you want to get all the barriers out from learning.
So I can actually create something outside of the game and upload it.
To
continue my progress in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how we're running an alpha version right now, and that's how it's actually working. Like, whatever you've drawn that day, you upload it into the game, and it kind of appears in your practice journal.
Very interesting. Like, what made you decide to go with pixel art? Is it because it's an easy thing to learn at first?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the factors. So pixel art has this kind of not intimidating look. The thing is, there's no technique to learn in the sense of materials. Like, if I give you to draw a portrait with pencils, you're gonna take maybe a week to just figure out how to properly like shade and all that eye-hand coordination, how to manipulate different pencils to give different shades. In pixel art, there's none of that. It's just like, you want a red pixel there, you press there, and it appears red pixel. Me as a, somebody with 10 years of experience, or somebody that's just started today, we will both get exactly the same results of placing a red pixel at point 2.2. So there's that technique barrier is out of the way. And the rest is just like, you can, it's not that hard to place down 15 pixels and like, oh, hey, look, you've made a Mario. So yeah. The intimidation factor is definitely down, but on the other hand, it's just an art style that I really love, and gaining popularity. More and more indie games are using it these days. Not that that's necessarily something, it might be just like, and it's gonna go into a slump, because I feel like at one point people might, especially if it's the same old, people get bored of it. But yeah, there's so much place left to experiment, and I love what everyone's doing, like with dynamic shading and those kind of things. So it's just it's, and on the other hand, it's also everything you learn for pixel art, it's useful for everything else. I like to say that pixel art is art first and pixels second. So composition and then everything.
Right. Sorry, you got cut off there. Cut off there a little bit. You said
Oh, sorry.
composition and then what?
Oh, yeah, it was composition and anatomy.
Right.
Yeah, composition, anatomy, I don't know, like line work, lighting, for example, shading, how, and that's a lot, it's physics, actually. How does the light work? Well, let me tell you.
So you had a Kickstarter. When was the? I think the time when I asked you whether you wanted to do this was the Kickstarter was well over, right?
Yeah, I think so. It was like a month ago or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, we exchanged email. Yeah, so the game
It's
had
crazy successful, by the way.
yes. Well, we set a crazy low goal. The thing is, I was just about to come here for this 1 year master's degree at Stanford, so I already knew, and this is my master's project here. It's gonna be my master's project this year, and then hopefully I will continue to develop it like for 1, 2, 3, 4 more years, as long as there's enough people that want to buy it that makes this sustainable for us. But yeah, so I already knew that I'm gonna be working on it, so I just set my Kickstarter goal at $1,000. But then people really connected with it. Like I don't know, it's been overwhelming even for myself. Like I thought it was maybe we're gonna get $10,000 at best for something like that. But yeah, we got $62,000.
Crazy.
Which is pretty cool. Because it's like you would think like, oh, people don't want to learn like what it's just like I want to shoot aliens. No, I think that's exactly why it went so successful, because it is something that's not it's not like other games out there. It's not another platform or another
Right.
just a normal adventure game.
How are you managing your finances? Like, because you got like 60 times more than what you're asking.
I mean, that's because that happened. That just gives me the ability. So I already knew I have the year of being at Stanford. I have it covered. So it's not like this is paying any of my student debts or anything like that.
Right.
But it enables me, as soon as the school year ends in like 3 months now, I'm going to be able to go full time into this. Because otherwise, it's whatever I would do during this 1 year, I get a chance to, okay, let's see how much we can sell now. But now we are very well off so that we can spend, probably until the end of this year. If right now it's probably going to be the two developers of us. So yeah, that's how. I mean, still a lot of money went into taxes, but we have enough left to figure it out until the end of the year. And hopefully get enough new players all the time so that it is actually sustainable, because we do want to keep developing this and making it better and better.
So you will be releasing it on Steam or something, right?
No, so it's actually an online game. So
Right.
you just log in from your browser. I mean, it has everything like graphics like any other normal game would, but it's easy enough. You just run it in your browser. We might release on Steam, but that would be just like, oh, hey, here's a wrapper around, Chrome. So it's kind of, yeah, it would be more just to place it in a store, not really, as a distribution medium. Yes, and that's the great part about it. It's an online game. Is we keep on developing it. Like just the other day, one of the alpha players was like, "Hey, this isn't working," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me check." And then in 1 hour, I already had a patch, and I just pushed it on, and oh yeah, now it works. Thanks. It's like we can do that, and we can keep on adding, and just keep on growing the thing. It's more like, from that perspective, it's more like a web platform than a game. Because it's not like, oh, this came out, this is the content you play, bye-bye. No, it's something that you come in for more and more and more content and practice.
Oh, so you are planning to just keep adding pretty much?
Yes, there's so much content that can be added. So like this game development storyline is the first one we're going to launch this year with. But then, and as people play through that and explore the campus a little bit, we're going to start adding new and new.
So is the game only accessible for backers right now, or somebody can actually get in now?
Yeah, right now we have 2,800 backers, and about 800 of those pledged for the alpha level, so $35 and above. Right. There was $50, $35 ones for the early backers, and then the rest are the higher level tiers. So they are able to log into the game right now. We are right now. That's why we need to go developing soon. We're trying to get our store upgraded. Right now, you can only buy the pre-order, the version that's gonna trying to offer upgrades as well, so that if you have that, you can upgrade to the alpha version. So you can actually start playing right now as well.
Right. And just two more questions because you have to go.
Yeah, sure.
What did you do to get your name out there for the Kickstarter? Like, what was the
Yeah, totally. I can talk about that. It's definitely been 5 years of hard work, I would say. There's this guy I really like. I saw a TED talk. I think it came up on TED. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk. So he was one of the.
Oh, okay.
You heard of him?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, he was one of the first YouTubers. So he built Wine Library, like a wine online selling store, and then so he knows a lot about how to get successful in the internet. And I read his first book called Crush It, and he was talking about these platforms like Tumblr. And so as soon as I read that book, I started retronator.com. I moved retronator.com to Tumblr, and I started a blog about pixel art. At first, it was about everything, just kind of like we were saying before. I have a YouTube channel that's personal, and I have like all the weird things on it. And the same was for retronator.com. At first, it was just my Tumblr, and it had all the weirder stuff. Like, because I also draw not non-pixel art stuff, like I paint and draw. But then eventually, maybe like in 2012, first of all, so I was running that all throughout. And then in 2012, I did this huge piece of artwork called Tribute. It's on retronator.com/tribute. And that one became, like, it was posted on Kotaku, Destructoid, so it became pretty popular. And so my Tumblr's popularity also grew. And then more and more people were just interested in the pixel art aspect of it. So I think it was 2013 somewhere where I decided, okay, let's just focus on that. And so all of my personal other stuff, I separated it. Just like my YouTube channel now, I have Retronator 48K, which is just for pixel art. And then since then, it was just like my Tumblr is doing pretty well in the pixel art scene. And it's just, I've been posting my artworks. I've been curating content, so posting and featuring other artists, writing about other pixel art game projects. And just by nature, I'm a cheerleader, in the sense that I love, like, I'm a fanboy of a lot of people, so I would just spend a lot of time on DeviantArt and Twitter following other people, and like, but just genuinely, I love everyone, so I'm just like, hey, my God, this is so good artwork. And, you know, sometimes they follow you back and you become friends, and like a lot of people that I know on the internet, I just, you know, got to know them because I love their art. And if that's mutual, sometimes that's great, and that's usually how people know me. And then when I posted about the Kickstarter, then the word spread out.
And so the last thing, you have two on your website. There's like a full game pre-order and a basic game pre-order.
Yes.
So when it's out for sale, will that also be like there's a full game and a basic game?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we're kind of struggling how to term it exactly, right. But the basic game, so it's the same as it was on Kickstarter. So for $10, it's kind of entry level where you get access to everything, the whole game, but you can't create your own character. So you just select with one of the pre-made characters and you go along with it. The $20, the full thing, gives you the ability to customize your characters. You're gonna kind of like The Sims. You're gonna be able to edit your whole avatar. And right now in the pre-order time, you also get a yellow key card. So we have these key cards that are gonna unlock different places in Retropolis, the city that you're in, and that's all for the future. It's just like the yellow key card gives you access to kind of like daytime locations around the city. So like if there's gonna be a virtual arcade somewhere where people are gonna hang out, you will use the yellow key card to get access. And then for the alpha access people, that's at $40. You get a CN key card that has daytime and nightlife access. So there's going to be bars. I'm not sure if you've played Habbo Hotel. I think that was a European thing, like a chat room with isometric 3D pixel art graphics. It's kind of going to be like that. Like you can, just like a chat room with cool graphics. But that's all for like, if we stay alive for, 2 years in advance. So, but yeah, the main difference is kind of like the character editor. You get to create your own portrait or avatar, use that on your Facebook or stuff like that.
Right. So I'm gonna just one more question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. No problem.
So what's a roadmap looking like right now?
Yeah. So I have 3 months left to graduation. So we're definitely gonna try and get the game development scenario fleshed out during this time. So we have something that's like, oh, here you've started with 0, and by here you've learned, I don't know, how to do game sprites. So that's gonna be, so I guess gonna be around August or September when that's gonna be ready, and then we're probably gonna spend a month or two just kind of polishing it into and like giving it a wrapper around with the storyline, enabling you to create characters and all that stuff, and that's when it's gonna get released with this first storyline so that people can start playing. From there on, probably there's gonna be more, just like more storylines being added in, and there's a couple of it's kind of hard to predict, I think, because I am also a lot about just, hey, let's see what people are connected most with, what's giving the most value to them right now. So there's different things. Like one is definitely the storylines. A lot of people are asking for this kind of like project structure, which is this, the storylines will give you that. But there's also like integrating a lot of other tutorials on the internet and categorizing them. So it's just gonna slowly, I think, go into a couple of directions and slowly build up the volume of resources that you can use with the game.
Nice. So yeah, thank you very much, Matej, for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for having me, and good luck to the show.
Thank you. And for the people listening, you can check out Pixel Art Academy. It's welcome.to.pixelart.academy, right?
Yeah, it's easier if you just type in pixelartacademy.com. It works.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can also, what's your Twitter account?
Yeah, my Twitter account is @Retronator. Also at Pixel Art Academy, but my personal one is @Retronator. Yeah, Retronator. So also my blog is called Retronator.
Right.
And I
you have a couple of places where people can follow your development, right? On Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, Twitch is definitely like where you can see the nitty-gritty details. If you pre-order the game, you get access to the Facebook group where I also post everything and interact with the backers and supporters. Twitter is good, and then for my artwork, I have Retronator on DeviantArt. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
What are the two YouTube channels that you have?
So the YouTube channels are, my personal one is Retro 3D. And the other one is Retronator 48K.
Right. Yeah. Right. So thank you very much for watching and listening. Do check out Pixel Art Academy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Cheers.